Okay, well here we are. We are live at 11:05. I am BC. And Josh, the voice of Spirit Cars, behind the camera there. Are you going to wave today? You've been waving there. He's waving again. We had a request. Was it last Friday? Or somebody wanted to see how the inside of the seat went on the 27. We've been kind of dinking around with this one, getting ready to get serious with it. My valve covers are on the way, and I should have all my parts in the next couple of days, right?
Yes.
So we'll get serious. Before I do the seat, though, when we get serious, and I've said this before, I'm going to say it again, it doesn't hurt to repeat yourself. We haven't done the board yet. But when we get ready to finish Kevin's car here, I will itemize everything I can think of that needs to be done on this car. And even as we're working on it, if we see something that's not on the board, we'll immediately go put it on that board, so that as we're finishing the car, we make sure that we don't forget anything, whether it be tightening bolts or putting oil in the motor or coolant in the radiator, or just whatever it is. It just really helps. It's hard to make that list in the beginning. There's so many things to do to build a car, but as you get to the final stages of it, I would recommend that you do that. Another thing too, I appreciate somebody asking about a question to give us a direction. Sometimes we don't think, we do the same thing over and over, and that's what we do. I remember years ago I was in Nebraska, Lincoln, Nebraska, and if you've never been to the Speedway Museum out there, it's really nice. But I had an opportunity to sit down with Bill Smith, and it was just him and I, and we were sitting there, and Speedy Bill he did a lot to take this from just a hobby to being an industry. And truly it is, hot rods are an industry now. It's not just people that, guys like me, it's my life. It's not my hobby, it's who I am, and there's a lot of people like that, but it's come to the place now where a lot of you all are professionals, or you have other jobs or other things, and it's just something you want to do on the side. Anyway, we're talking, and he was kind of lamenting what the industry's come to, and he reached in his pocket and he took his keys and he threw his car keys on the table, and he said, that's what people want now. They just want a turnkey. They want everything to work and be fit. Well, I didn't say anything, and I kind of just said, yeah, that's what they want. That's what in my mind, that's what Spirit has really tried to do over the years. We've tried to offer one of the most complete kits on the market, fully engineered. I mean, we build them, and building turnkeys is not the main part of our business. It's actually a very small part of our business. The main part of our business is building kits and parts and pieces for y'all to build your own car and have that experience. So in that, just because I say something and do it like this, or this is the way Spirit does it, I hope we never get away from what Speedy Bill said. They're not hot rodders anymore. They just want a key. No, we don't want to get away from that. Sure, you have the basic thing here, but a lot of it makes it you. The individual things, whatever you change up a little bit, do here, it makes it your personality. It makes it your car. And that's part of the fun of it, figuring out some of the stuff that it could be like this, or it could be like that, or it could be another way. I seen a comment a week or so ago, someone, when we were putting the gas filler in, if I'd have welded it shorter, then I could have probably got it all in there at one time. There's no one right way to do it. There's multiple ways that can get a job done. Although there are some wrong ways, and it's our hope that we can keep you steered away from those, so when you build the car, you're moving forward all the time and not having to back up on the process. We haven't done any tool reviews. Have we ever done a tool review? No. Doing a tool review. This is the most awesome tool. It's an air saw, and you can get a $30 air saw, or you can get a $200 air saw. And from our experience, these are consumables in a shop like this. We go through air saws and throw it away and get a new one. It's not going to necessarily last any longer under our commercial environment if I buy this one happens to be an Ingersoll Rand, so this was not cheap, or if I buy one from online, eBay or wherever, and pay $30 for it, you're going to get a good one, you're going to get a bad one. Sometimes the cheap one will last for a year, 2 years, and sometimes it'll last for a few months. But I can buy 5 cheap ones to 1 good one. We buy them both, we buy them all. End of the story. You can spend a lot of money, you can get a cheap one. If you're going to do much fiberglass work, definitely. I like it. So here, on our seats, we wanted to see what it looks like. You can kind of see Eddie's upholstered this seat, and it's got holes already. For the seat belts. So that's in there. Before we even upholstered it, if you happen to buy a car with with the upholstery already done, you can still get in there and mark it. Just I wouldn't do it with a marker. I might do it with a ballpoint pen so you don't get ink on your or marker on your seat. But if it's just a fiberglass, we mark where them holes are by putting it in there. So you can see we have the holes. Put my glasses on so I can see my line. That may have been a little noisy for you, and I apologize for that, but you can see this is the tool that you want to have. If you got to do some cuts like that, this is the tool to have. I could have made a hole in there first with a drill bit and got started, but it starts that way. If I'm going to do a hole that I've got to be precise, say I'm doing a tail light or something like that, what I'll do is I'll drill the hole in the center and then work my way out to a much better line and be more precise about it. But that matches up. I can run my seat belt in here. Underneath the car, we're going to have a big plate. So the 2 seat belts, they don't happen to be out here, do they? The seat belts for it?
Maybe in the cabinet.
Let me see if we got seat belts real quick.
Maybe I don't have them yet. Or they could be in Eddie's room getting remodeled.
Exactly, getting remodeled. That's again what I was saying. There's a lot of stuff what you're going to get for your car. It's going to be universal, and they're a little bit long for this particular car. So when Josh says they're getting remodeled, what Eddie does is cut them apart, shorten them up, sew them back, and make them right. So there's going to be a plate under the car. This floor is very reinforced, and the bolt's going to come up through the plate. So I'll have a bolt almost like a stud coming up, and there's 2 metal plates on the seat belt. Put them both in, put them on top of each other. There'll be a hole in them. Put the nut on it. So both of your center ones are going to be coming out of the same hole here. The side ones, pretty much the same way. You put them in there. Now the side ones, depending on which ones you use, which brand, are actually somewhat adjustable in the bracket itself. The way you fold it over and pull it in, and you can adjust it down and pull it tight. So you don't want a seat belt with a lap, that's coming way out, and you don't want this so tight you can't use it. But generally, if you've got seat belts in your hot rod, they won't say anything else about it unless you're just being stupid and crazy out there driving. But law enforcement, generally, if you get stopped, it's only because they want to see your car and talk to you and be nice about it all. Unless you're just being a butthead. I mean, be a good buckethead. Don't be a butthead when you're out there with your car. Be safe. Don't be doing stupid things. And a lot of the cars, there's a lot of regulation going on out there that I know we've made cars and sold them into the Northeast especially. I mean, they want X amount of square inches on your front turn signal. It gets very specific. But generally, that's not a problem. Be aware of that. So we got our seat belts, pretend we got them in there. This is our battery box. Now the master seal is going to be under here, and I'll cut this out here pretty quick, but I'll cut it out like that, and that way you'll access your master cylinder. The way the seat goes in, pretty simple. We've already put these side panels in. You can see they've been snapped in, and this part under here is a little bit loose, and this is on a board right here with some padding between it, so it's got a sewn design into it. We can do different designs. This seat just drops right in. It pushes down, and you can see in there, I've actually hit the hole. I mean, if you can tell, I can put that all the way through there, so I'm ready to go. That's about it as far as upholstering one of the Spirit cars. If you buy our kit, it doesn't get a whole lot easier than that. This is so tight, there is no way that this is going to come out of the car. So we used to have a nut and a bolt actually sticking through and stick it into the back and put a nut in the back of the car, but we don't even do that anymore. This seat is just not going to come out of there unless you pull it directly up and out around the curve of it all. So there's the seat. Back to Speedy Bill. There's just no one way to do it, especially when it comes to putting brackets on it. But no, I'm putting the throttle cable in. There's a lot of different throttle cables. There's a lot of different motors. And it comes down to supply and demand and how much of a demand there is for something. There's so many different carburetors and so many different combinations. Most of what you get here is going to be universal type products. This bracket here, this cable, the customer, Randy, supplied it. Normally we use a braided cable in there, but this had to be cut down. This cable in here is just going through into the floor right now, and it will need to be cut down. This bracket is not the one that came with this cable. I like this one better because I can put the springs on it. I don't have the kickdown cable on here yet, but I'll need to have a bracket with that. Here he is. Get him, get him, get him, get him, get him, get him quick.
No.
It's Fast Eddie making an appearance. He's been working on my grill. Here, show him the front of the grill here. He just installed the grill there. I got to do a little more buffing on the grill
a
shell.
little bit more buffing and
Good job.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to take a bow for us? Get Eddie to take a bow. we were
There you go.
if he's not out fishing or not out hunting, he's probably here doing upholstery or something else. And if you're not here doing upholstery or something else, you're at home working on a
building a car in my garage.
Yeah, what are you building now? You're building an old Chevy, aren't you?
55 Chevy.
55 Chevy. Used to be a race car
Old
back in
drag
the
car.
day.
Yeah.
You've had that thing for how long?
About 15 years.
I've been hearing rumors about that thing getting together for...
It's like a barn find. It's been down the pole barn for about 15 years.
You got the floors in it now? And
the floors, trunk, yeah.
I asked him this morning, I said, did you buy the floors or did you just make them?
I made them.
You made them.
Yeah.
So, a lot of us, we just buy the floors, put them on, do it.
Yeah.
I was talking about old Speedy Bill, lamenting about how hot rodding's changed. Back in the day, it used to be go out back and scrounge and figure it out. And
that's the way I still build them.
in Flippin, we are here in Flippin, Arkansas.
Yeah.
In Flippin, they're still, well, I take that back now. Mullins salvage yard won't let you go down in the yard anymore.
No.
That just happened this year.
Yeah.
But in the bigger cities, it's been years since you
can't go in the play yard no more. you know?
Thank you, all you greedy people, to think somebody just because they have a business is making money and I stubbed my toe, so I'm going to sue you. Yeah. So now we can't go play in the boneyards no more.
In the boneyard.
And but that's how we used to do it. Oh, I think that'll work. You see something sitting there and make it work. But we got them a pretty good kit. They can figure it out. They can build it.
Yes.
And we still give them plenty of room to figure it out themselves too.
Right. Yeah.
So we're good about that. Randy,
Kevin.
I'm sorry, Randy, because I called you Randy twice, so we'll call you Kevin, the right name.
Okay, bye.
Thanks, Eddie.
Bye, Fast Eddie, and thank you. So he's got the grill in here. Kevin supplied his own radiator, and this is just a little bit different than the one Spirit normally uses. So it's a little bit narrower right here than what we normally have. On ours, we'll build a bracket, and it'll come out, and you'll actually see the bracket come out in a shape, and it'll fit tight to it. I'm going to have to put a spacer between this one and here. I've already put the holes in it, we'll use a button head hole and or button head bolt. Looks real good. Got 4 of them, 2 on each side. Get this all fitted up before you even start to paint. So anyway, we got this one. I'll bolt this on here in a little bit. Let's get back to that throttle. I didn't put this in yet. But I started by, and these come, they're all folded up to fit in the box nice. This is a spoon pedal, and there's other different kinds. There's some with a pad. There's all different kinds. But this one happens to come apart here. You take the nut out. It's an Allen nut. This will come off. You can turn it a quarter turn or whatever. There's a lot of splines in there, so you can get whatever shape you want. Hold it up to where it goes. And if you remember, on this car, we put a piece of wood between our insert and the firewall, so that I could bolt my fuse block to it. Well, that same piece of wood is in the same area what this is going to be. And I should have mentioned that when I was putting the wood in before, just in case somebody was copying me and wasn't thinking 2 steps ahead. But I'm to the point where I need to put this in now. And if I didn't have wood behind it, I would stick a piece of wood down into it. But since I do, I can screw this here right flat to that, and it will hold just fine. So what I did, I held this up there, and I wanted to make sure my foot was going to be comfortable when I hit the gas pedal. So this was my main concern right here, that this would not hit the floor. I can adjust it up, of course, and I can change the angle of this, but I had enough room that it was high enough where it was comfortable. It hits on the ball of my foot, or on the ball up in the top part of my foot where I wanted it to hit. I liked it. I looked straight across. I went ahead and drilled from the inside. That's how I located this hole here. So I drilled from the inside, came out, and I made sure, I mean, I didn't just drill without looking out here, that I wasn't going to come behind something or have a serious issue, because a little bit of a curve into this is not too bad. But if I've got such an angle in that and such a curve, I wouldn't be able to pull it. As you can see it now, it's pulling. It gets a little hard, but and again, on the angle, they give you 3 different settings, and it's all about leverage. You know, I'll get a different pressure actually the farther I go out, and it's the same with the brake pedal. I can get a more pressure on it if I move it in tighter, but I don't get as much throw. So you have some options. I'm going to have to cut this cable. You can see the cable here. This was a much longer piece, this black piece. I cut it down to fit that. And so the cable on the inside is a little bit long, and there's a, let's see if I got it inside the car here. Well, somewhere there's a piece that goes on here, and the cable goes into it, and it just clamps down to it, and that's how you go there. We need to kick down. I don't have that started up. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow. I think we'll spend one more day on this. So tomorrow I should have the rest of this buttoned up, and I'll just kind of point out some of the things you want to be aware of. And this one's coming pretty close. When we get valve covers, we'll just think maybe towards the end of the week. You think we'll be able to start this thing towards the end of the week? If that's possible, we'll show you the startup, and we'll go with that. So I think for today, if we start later, I might just run late. How did you find that before? You find that for me?
Right there.
Right there? Oh wow, you're good. I said the other day, we're going to do a choice, and I did get my coffee break contemplations over there. What? Why don't you give me those two? We're going to choose. But I added one last Friday. And if you think this is political or not, I don't really care. This is American. If you want to say he's not my president, I didn't say that about President Obama. I didn't say that about President Ford. I didn't say that about Eric Ford. I'm way back. President Bush. I didn't say that about President Clinton. I didn't say that about President Bush before that. I didn't say that about President Nixon. I can go back a lot of presidents. We live in a country where we have freedom, and it's a beautiful country to live in, where we have opportunities. And what really makes this country awesome is we have a peaceful transition of power every 4 years at the top branch of government. So if you want to tell me he's not my president, I'm going to tell you you're not my fellow American citizen. You're subversive. You're the enemy to my state. So I mentioned that's enough politics for me, but that's my stand on that. We have a new president-elect coming in, President Trump, and he is quite the tweeter. And you never know what he's going to tweet. So I'm a little bit leery about this one, but we have Pass It On. We have Coffee Break Contemplations, and we have the tweet of the day. So I had Josh set me this up. Is it going to be there? And we'll see what President-elect Trump has to say a few days before he becomes President Trump. Oh my, he is a prolific tweeter too. He's got 2 or 3 Trumps today, but okay. He said this a little while ago. It's finally happening. Fiat Chrysler just announced plans to invest $1 billion in Michigan and Ohio plants, adding 2,000 jobs. And this after something, whatever, he must not have enough words to continue his tweets. I don't know how that works. I'm not a tweeter, but Josh made me a tweeter, guys, so I guess I'm following President Trump. Fiat Chrysler. Oh, I'm going to finish with something political. I bought an X19 years ago. It was a cool looking little car, Fiat X19. I was backing up, and doggone it, if that front suspension didn't just, it was rusted and it was just like welded to a plate in the front and it just come loose. And I went ahead and I had it towed back to the shop, and I built me some plates. That thing was better than it was originally, and I sold it and made a little bit of money. So then I bought me a Spider, a Fiat Spider. It's a little convertible, pretty cool. I was like, oh, this is good. I bought it in the dark. The little old lady gave me a whole story. I get that thing home, and I set it there. I'm lucky I got it home. That didn't break in 2 pieces getting it home, because if you look at this car, a Roadster, there ain't a whole lot in here. That thing broke between the front and the back. And I told Uncle Don, and Uncle Don, you got to know my Uncle Don. Uncle Don, if you're watching, hey, he's an old car guy that's done a lot of stuff. I said, if I ever buy another Fiat in my life, kick me in the butt. Uncle Don's the kind of guy, he'll kick me in the butt. So, I like my Chrysler, my Dodge truck, back when I was on the road all the time. But how in the world did Fiat ever buy Chrysler? What happened in this country? Oh my goodness. So now, I've got this commitment, I'm not going to buy another Fiat. So, here's what I can say. Can I make an announcement today?
Sure.
Okay, this is a press release. This is an announcement. Spirit Industries, we're going to do our part to make America great again. We have been working on a Model A, Ford, Roadster reproduction. We've got a couple versions of it. One that'll fit on a 27 chassis, one that'll fit on Model A chassis. These are our interpretations of that original car, but we're about ready to launch that product. So we are going to help make America great again with a great old car, and we're going to add that to our product line, and that'll be coming, not coming soon. We can, if you want to make an order, we can, do we even have a price for that yet? If not, we'll have a price by the time you call. So there it is for today, and I can't just go out without passing it on, something. Oh, Ernie, my hot rod man buddy. I bet he don't have any Fiats. There's no need to talk of sadness all day. Get a hug and a bandage, then go back and play. Perfect. Chrysler, you got a Band-Aid on a couple times, and they make a pretty good car. In Detroit, you guys in Detroit and Ohio and Michigan, I mean, there are some car builders up there. I mean, I hope we get America back to where we were, building awesome cars. not just average cars, but the best cars the world has to offer. That's what we're trying to do here at Spirit on the limited version. Have a good day.